Alright, picking up from where we left off, let's start working on the blade guard, this piece right here. So what I'm thinking about doing for that piece is I was looking at this reference here, and I kind of like how the blade kind of shows through the top there. So I'm thinking I might, instead of kind of showing it like that, I might show it all the way through, and then this piece just kind of clasps the edge of it. So to create that effect, let's jump into Max, and let's take these guys out. So we're gonna need, let's start by detaching this piece, and then we'll hide it. We're gonna use that later. And let's turn our transparency back up, and we'll start by creating two segments in here like that, so they're equidistant. I think that's the word. And then we'll cap that and connect this as such. Then we'll make a cut down here, another cut there, and then turn our snaps and then align them to the verts above. Then we're going to connect this to here. Okay, so we're basically, what we're trying to do here is build out the piece. We're going to extrude these polygons out to build a section for the blade guard to attach to. So let's weld those. And while we're here, let's just assign the smooth groups to them. So we've got smooth groups here, 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 and here. Okay, and then we'll extrude this out like so. Let's go to left view, turn our transparency back on, and try to line it up with this piece here. And I guess if we can go in a little bit, because then we'll have this piece cover it up. So we'll do something like that. It looks like this needs to come down slightly, actually. And we'll just kind of compromise there a little bit. Alright, something like that. And we can get rid of the polygons on this because they're not going to be seen. And let's go ahead and put back on our, yeah, so we got to fix some smooth groups. If we look at it right now, we want this to be flat on the top. Same with on the bottom there. So let's turn those guys off and assign some smooth groups here. So we'll auto smooth that, auto smooth that. Same for the bottom here. And now when we turn it on, should have a nice transition. There's a little bit of stretching there, but that won't really be apparent when we bake the normal map. Okay, so we're good with that piece. So let's unhide our other piece, which is this guy here. Let's turn this back off. And let's take another look at the reference. So we're trying to create this kind of curvature where it kind of has a nice rounded edge out here. So in order to do that, let's first start by bringing this piece out here. And we go into wireframe mode here. And before I do that, let's delete half of this since we're only doing work on one side. And just have to go into top view to delete half of it. Okay. sure we got everything. I think the bottom there's a piece here. Okay, and then we'll go to border mode, vertex. Get that perpendicular, and make sure it's on. Okay, it's on 0x, which we want. So when we go to mirror it, we won't have any issues. And actually, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that's too important, because what we want to do is we want to connect. We're building a piece. We want to snap this to this shank that we extruded, right? So this piece is kind of laying against here, right? So what we need to do now is basically create some geometry in the inside. So we'll, in Max, you can do, if you go into your snaps, there's an option where you can say, click this on, use axis constraints. So if I click X, it's only going to snap to vertex in the X axis. Easy for me to say. So that allows me to line up with that vert over there. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and move this out so it's perpendicular to this up here. And then snap those there. And actually, we'll just use our axis constraint. Like that. And make sure these guys are straight to this. Okay. We're going to need to do that here as well. So we'll pull this down in Z. Like that. Let's go back into our left view, make sure everything looks alright. And just looking at that, that is really not correct. It should be more like that. So come on, Max. Stop being stupid. Alright. Let's line this up to this piece here. There we go. Alright, so we've got that kind of position now. So that's off for some reason. This is really starting to be a pain in the ass. Okay, so we need to create some inner geometry. So let's pull this. How do we want to do this? So let's isolate this real quick. I'll just pull it down like such. There we go. And then we can vert weld these together. Make sure this got welded. Okay, that looks good. Now we want to snap the verts to these. They should be, they look correct. Yeah, that looks good. And that looks good. Okay. So we've got that figured out. So now what we want to do is kind of create this curvature here. So the easiest way to do that would just be to kind of add some segments here. So I'm going to try to equally disperse these segments. Connect. There we go. So that looks pretty equal. All right, and we'll go into, let's go into a front view here. Yeah, maybe working from perspective at first would be the best. Turn off wireframe here. And let's start kind of building this shape out. Maybe then bring this one out more. Grab this one here. This one, maybe this goes in. Have that come out a little bit more. Oops. Like that could come in slightly. Yeah, something about like that. Looks pretty good. Go ahead and isolate that now. And we just need to connect up some vertex. So we'll come here. There we go. So we got quad here and here. I have to throw a, looks like we'll have to put a triangle there. Okay. Alright. So on this on the back faces here, we need to add some edges coming in, which will allow us to kind of create a nice bevel here. So we'll cap that, go into polygon mode, click inset. Yeah, something like that. And we need to assign polygroups for that. Smooth groups, sorry. And we're assigning smooth groups anywhere an edge occurs. So we know that there's a hard kind of an edge that comes in here, right? So I added a smooth group here and here. Then we can delete this polygon here. We'll just add polygroups for this. And it's trying to add 2 polygroups for some reason. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I have 2 faces. Yeah, it's probably adding. Yeah, that's what it did. Didn't create the same smooth group, which is odd. Okay. There we go. I can't remember if, yeah, I did get those. Let me grab these now. Alright. And let's click out of isolation mode here. And let's grab the modifiers off of here because we have the edges that we want to be 1-to-1. So we'll just paste this on here. So now that when we smooth these together, they should have the same bevel. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and mirror this guy over. Okay, it's already in the x-axis, so we can just mirror it like so. Let me turn off realistic. Keeps getting turned on. There we go. So now it kind of adds a nice little detail that'll read nicely in the normal map. So we can kind of see the shank kind of going through the blade guard. The bottom, yeah, it's kind of doing some weird. Let's see if we can adjust that a little bit. Should be its own smooth group. So that's 3 and 4. Huh, guess we can't really prevent that from creating that. That's alright, it still looks alright. So there we go. Go ahead and take a break here, but now we've got the blade guard. Alright, let's continue on. So let's start by building this piece right here. easiest way to probably do that, let's go into our left view here, create a cylinder. Make sure it's about approximately the right size. Use about 30 segments. That'll give us some pretty clean geometry. Alright. So that, I think what we'll do is maybe just build this piece and then kind of orientate it where it needs to go. So let's just get roughly the right scale here. Something like that. It seems like, let's turn on our wireframes here. Let's convert this to an editable poly. And go into a left view here. And maybe we'll just do it from this view. Okay. Scale it. Give it a little bit of a bevel to it, as shown here. Looks like it's a little too thick, so maybe we'll do that. Okay. And let's look at some reference here. So it looks like it's a little bit more oval shaped. So we'll scale it in like so. That's pretty good. Something like that. Okay, and let's go ahead and fix the topology while we're here. I think what we can do for this is we'll just do an inset and collapse it. And oops. Select these polygons here. Do a selection from that. Give it some smooth groups. Same for this. And then we're going to add a little bit of geometry on the back side here. So let's cap it. Then inset it about there. And then we'll grab these, do an auto smooth, and let's grab our modifiers from here and paste them on here. That was weird. That was acting up a little weird. Okay, so we got that piece built. So now we need to build this piece. And I'm thinking for this piece here, we'll kind of model it very simple, and then maybe we can use ZBrush to kind of put a really intricate pattern on it like we see here. So let's go ahead and build that. So let's take, what's the best way to do this? This is a slightly different shape. It's almost kind of more of like a square with beveled edges. So maybe that'd be better to start with a square. So let's go into our left view, let's create a box. Something like that. Okay, so we want, let's go with 30 and 30. Get this approximately the right width and dimension. That's pretty good. Okay, so we'll start with creating the radiuses here. So let's convert this to an editable poly. And then do a ring selection here. And then select the chamfer. Okay. Might want to just chamfer it almost all the way in. Actually, I think I want to readjust this one too, but alright, something like that, maybe. Scale it in a little bit. Effect, center pivot. And we're trying to match it as best we can. And I think I'll scale this out more. It looks quite thick compared to this image. So maybe we'll reduce it. I feel like that might be thicker too on this one. Alright, let's play with the shape a little bit more. So maybe get rid of, let's merge these together like this. Kind of an interesting shape. Alright. I think I'll kind of divert from the reference a little bit. This one too almost seems a little bit more guess that wasn't symmetrical. It's fine, we'll do a mirror operation to clean that up. Alright, and I'm not really liking this space, this shape now. I feel like it needs, let's see if we go into our like FFD, let's do like an FFD4. Yeah. And then grab these middle sections like that. Pull them out a little bit. Okay. This thing needs to be a little smaller. Alright. Now let's grab this, do a connect here, and then we'll pull it out a little bit like that, and then chamfer it. Oops. Something like that. Just a subtle chamfer. Okay. So we'll grab, let's do a inset on this piece and then just collapse it down. Okay. And we'll grab this and this piece here. I guess not wanting to do what I wanted to do. There we go. Auto smooth. Grow this out. Auto smooth that. Grab the stack off of this and paste it on here. Left with that. Okay. So let's turn these off actually, and make sure this is connecting to that piece properly. So this should let's turn these off as well, temporarily. And change our work pivot. We want to actually, yeah, we want to make sure this piece connects properly. So let's get that figured out. Alright. And we could probably just use the same piece on that side. So we'll mirror this. Actually, we can just, oops. Sure, this is in the middle real quick. We'll make it an instance for the time being. And then go ahead and do that. Just turn our wireframe on. This one's not like wanting to play nice. There we go. So now this all is one piece. So I'm going to group this temporarily. Go into our left view and try to match the angle we have going there. Something about like that. Maybe have it moving a little bit. Then we'll ungroup this. Let's turn everything back on. We'll take a look at what we have. Alright. Yeah, it looks alright. I think it'll read a lot better once we have some textures on it. Alright, take a break here.